Hey guys, what's up? It's Nathan Leap here from MPC, and today in this video I'm going to be going over one of my favourite planche training sessions. It's lengthy, it takes an hour, hour 15 give or take. Depends on how much you need to warm up. The first 6 minutes of this video will be about the warm up, wrist prep, shoulder, etc. The next 6 minutes or so is all going to be the actual workout, so that's split into a few different sections, and then after that the last few minutes of the video is pretty much just a finisher. So that'll be a few exercises split up into a circuit, which are designed to fatigue the muscle groups that you've just been working through the session. So let's get into it. Just about anything with calisthenics really, if you don't warm up your wrists, you will find that you will have injuries. So here is quite a few different wrist prep exercises that you might enjoy. For the wrist prep, you should make sure that you go through all of these at least once. Make sure you're just working through your range of motion, you're not trying to really push the boundaries. After the wrist prep, I like to prep my back and shoulders, largely because the planche is really intensive on your back, especially the lumbar and thoracic. Especially if you're going to come into planche from handstand, you need to make sure that your thoracic is open so that you're able to facilitate the movement a lot easier. The more open you are, the more fluid your planches will feel. After the back and shoulder prep, I like to go into a bit of leg prep exercises next. When performing the planche, you want full body rigidity, so warming up your calves, hamstrings and your quads, as well as your glutes is very important, otherwise you will probably cramp up. The last thing you want is to cramp up in your calf or your quad when you're in a full static exercise, so make sure you do warm these up. extensions are a great way to really activate your quads and your glutes. I find with these, sometimes you may need to hold a weight out in front of you and your hands out in front just to stop your knees from raising from the ground. Depends on how low you can get. After the back and everything else has already been finished, you're feeling a lot more open. Now I like to practice my handstands. My wrists have been prepped, my shoulders have been prepped. Handstands will feel a lot more natural, and you're going to be doing planching on the ground, you're going to be doing planching on your parallettes, so I find it useful to have a good handstand in both. Here you can also make sure that you are actively protracting your scapula as well as depressing it, which is exactly the scapular position that you want when you're going for full planche. So now you're fully prepped, ready to go, and the first 20 minutes of this workout is pretty much whatever progression you're on to, which is the hardest progression that you can hold for anywhere from 12 to 20 seconds. So it may be advanced tuck, super advanced tuck, or you may be on a straddle. As long as you're having your lumbar spine supported, go for your straddle. Just like with any other strength building program, in between each intense bout during this session, you're going to have 3 minutes rest. So that'll give you a good 6 or 7 attempts at your hardest progression until you go on and move to the next part. So I call this one the struggle progression because I didn't really know what else to call it, but in the end, really what you're trying to do here in the next 10 minutes, you are going to be pretty much prepping your central nervous system for the next hardest move that you don't really find that comes easy to you. So for me, I do struggle a little bit with my negatives, especially with my straddle, keeping my lumbar spine and keeping my hollow position. So I like to practice these. For you, it might be the full planche, but whatever it is that you can't quite do very well, but is going to be the next stage of your best progressions, this next 10 minutes is just prepping your CNS. This will help you progress faster so that you can move on to the next stage. quite fatigued after completing your prep, 20 minutes of hardest attempts, 10 minutes of your struggle progressions. So next, going straight for just the tuck. Here you're going to be performing 7 sets at 80% of your full effort. So do not go to full failure here, and make sure you take 45 seconds to a minute's rest in between each set. The finisher. So at this point, you are quite fatigued, you've done quite a bit of work, it's been probably over an hour, but you do want stamina through your holds. So I like to finish off with a bit of a circuit of 4 exercises, and just like in the previous section, you only want to go to 80% of your effort. If you go to failure, your form will likely break down, and that's exactly where injuries occur. This is a long planche session, so the last thing you want to do is injure yourself, especially right at the end. So what you're going to be doing here is a circuit of 4 exercises, a full planche with band, depending on however much 80% is for you. Use a thick band to a thin band. Next, handstand push-ups against the wall, once again 80% of effort. Next, a couple of wrist inside leans, and then you're finishing off with whole body dumbbell raises with scapular protraction. Do 2 sets of these and the full workout here is done. Remember, after you've done that, do finish off with some cool down exercises. Never finish off a training session and just walk away. So for the cool down rest period of it, I would just recommend to do at least a little bit of stretching. Personally, I like to use a bit of a massage gun over pretty much my whole body, and then also stretch after that, because you don't get any injuries. You've had a massive training session, but do whatever feels naturally to you, and hope you've enjoyed this. If you think that I've missed some stuff or some stuff is wrong, hit me up in the comments, let me know what's going on. Till later, peace.